thanks for coming in today.
Hi, Lauren.
I know this isn't the first thing people want to be doing on a Saturday morning, so I really appreciate it.
No problem.
We're going to talk today about a change that you feel two ways about. So, can you tell me a little bit about a change that you kind of see both sides of?
Let's see. Something that I understand the positive and negative effects of is like punctuality in my own life. I think that there's people who think that I need to be more punctual, and tell me that I need to be more punctual, or that I'm late all the time, and I'm constantly hearing that, and then and I understand, it's something that is important. You need to be punctual, but I also understand that you can be too punctual, and it's not necessarily something that needs to be taken to the extreme that I'm told that it needs to be taken to.
Okay, so people have been telling you that you need to be more punctual, and you see the positives of that, but you feel like on one hand, like it's important, but on the other hand, it can be too extreme of a change.
Yeah, because then you can just find that that's the only thing that you're living for, and it's the most important thing to you is being there on time, and it's not the most important thing in life. So.
Yeah. So where do you feel like you are with being punctual? Like, where does your opinion of it fall?
Well, I think that I have a tendency to be late to things that I don't have to show up on time for.
Mm-hmm.
So things like recreational things, or hanging out with friends, going to see my family, like that sort of thing is, I tend to be a little bit more lax about, a little bit more, kind of just show up whenever I show up. But I think that when it comes to school and work, I'm a little bit better about it, and I'm still late, occasionally, but that is something that I have improved over time.
So you feel like you can be late to things, but the things you're late to doesn't usually matter that much?
No, not usually.
But you have improved on the things that do matter.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think you need to change?
Well, I think I could stand to be more punctual. I think I can definitely make improvements in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I am occasionally late to work and to class, so I think that it's something that I can improve on in that aspect. And it's polite to show up on time to things.
Yes.
So that's something that people think that you're rude and that you don't care if you just show up, even a few minutes late.
Yeah.
So if I am going to be late, I guess I could tell people, I could call or text somebody and say, hey, I'm running a few minutes late, so at least they're aware of it and not just not showing up whenever.
So you could make an attempt to just be more polite when you're gonna run late. I think that's a good idea. What would change if you did start being more punctual to class or to events?
I think the biggest change would be how people view me. I think that people's perception of me could change into a more positive light. Even if I just make the attempt to show up more often, on time, then I think that people could see that and would think more positively of me, and in turn, I would think more positively of myself. So, it could have kind of a ripple effect in my life, I think.
So other people would start viewing you more positively if you're punctual, and therefore, like, you would see that and reflect it back onto yourself and start feeling more positive about yourself.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. I think a lot of people feel that way. What are your reasons for changing?
Well, I think that one of the big reasons for changing and showing up more on time for class and work is, there's less repercussions, because there are consequences to showing up late for things like that, attendance-wise, there's policies in class, and, you can lose points or your grade can go down. And I think that when it comes to work, it's kind of the same thing. Even if there isn't any kind of strict consequences for that, which there most often is, then your boss can look at that and say, well, he's not reliable, he's not showing up on time, so, I'm not gonna put more responsibility on him, or he's not gonna get the raise. So I think in that area, it definitely could stand some improvement, but, I think one of the positives out of that would be to have that kind of, positive effect of showing up on time.
So what, have you had any negative consequences from being late to things?
Not sure. I've lost points in classes for being late, and I've gotten points on my attendance at work. At my last job, there was a point system for showing up late, and there are consequences for getting to so many points. You could lose days of work without pay, and you can lose vacation days, and eventually you could get fired for it. So there's definitely consequences, and I racked up some points there.
So there are negative things that you've experienced. How do you feel like what do you think you'll do to make this change successful?
I would think that one of the easiest things and most simple things is to write myself notes and little reminders, and I think that sort of a technique could probably help me some. It's just a reminder to keep track of what time it is, and that I have something coming up, so I should get ready for it and that sort of thing. But I think also telling people that rely on me, friends and family and people like that, just let them know that I'm trying to make the change. I'm trying to be more punctual, and that they should be aware of that, so that I can get that kind of positive affirmation and positive support from them if they see the positive change. So I think those are a couple things that I could do.
Right. So kind of going back to what we had talked about last time with organization, bringing that change into what you're working on here, so that the steps you're taking there will start benefiting you in this area as well.
Yeah.
But also having people there to support you and to have that expectation of you, and so I think that's definitely important. What's a step that you think you can take this week?
I think I could start by writing notes to myself. I think I could start by keeping track of my calendar and things like that. Just making an attempt really is the first step, to try and make a change.
That sounds like a really great idea. I think that you're able to see where you do need improvement and areas that you feel like you are doing okay in, and I think that you'll be able to make a couple steps to start being on time to work and class more often, but also just being more courteous to friends and family when you are running late, and it seems like you'll have a great week with this.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.